A big part of narcissistic abuse is creating an atmosphere of weirdness around you, so that people feel it, and start avoiding you, and even if they do not avoid you, you already feel weird, so you just do the job of creating an emotional climate of weirdness around yourself. These are all emotions manufactured by the female narcissist friend. People and you yourself must feel that there is something wrong with you. She isolates you from others by manufactured emotions through this, and she creates it from two fronts. She loves to point out your flaws in front of other people, or loudly enough for other people to hear them. Usually, you have no such flaws, which makes the entire situation even more mind-boggling for you. The tone of her voice is very concerned, or even might sound as if she tries to be secretive about it so that others do not hear that, but that is only to create even more weirdness and red flag you for others as something is not right in her case. She may look so genuine to you, that you start to be angry at yourself, and of course, feel very guilty, that you could have even thought bad about her. This is how she manufactures emotion of guilt, shame and anger in you, and creates cognitive dissonance, all at the same time. She also character assassinates you with this, and paint herself as a wonderful friend that cares so much about you, only maybe she is just too emotional, and this is why she cannot understand that this sort of behavior is unacceptable, and should never have place. Because of course if you try to delicately suggest that she might be putting you in an uncomfortable situation there, she will make a scene. Female narcissist friends are very dangerous creatures indeed, and they are much more difficult to get rid of than romantic relationships with narcissists, in many cases. The reason for that is that it can be pretty normal and natural thing to cut contact with a narcissistic ex-boyfriend and stop seeing his friends or common friends. That does not seem weird to anyone, and this is what makes such relationship easier to get out from. With a female narcissist friend, there is a totally different theme here. Between girls and women, that is very weird if one of them leaves the group, and there is a lot of backlash after such action. The reason for that is again what the society sees as normal and what not. If you decide to leave a friend, people find it really weird, and most of them will not support you on this. No contact with a friend seems weirder than no contact with an ex-boyfriend. Also, when you leave a narcissistic friend, in the vast majority of cases, you leave the entire system of manipulation that involves many people and places that narcissist has any influence on. The other girlfriends are under narcissist's hypnosis, and they are mind-controlled by her. As weird as it sounds, it is true. They are her flying monkeys, and agents that would try to pull you back into her matrix, or will abuse you even if unconsciously. It also is impossible for them to understand why you no longer contact them, and in many cases your individual relationship is a casualty of the entire situation. They often did nothing to you, they are only connected to the narcissist, and because of that they are polluted by their energy. Again, as weird as it sounds, it is true. When you leave a female narcissist friend, you do not leave a person, you leave the entire reality, with all its elements. This may also require you to stop going to certain places even though you love them. That might be just too hard to be there now, because narcissist is talking while you are silent, and all people know about you is from the narcissist. And because narcissist is very persistent with their smearing, even those who see you for who you are will at some point shift in their head and start to dislike you. Not because of you, but because of the negative emotional charge that the narcissist built in their head and connected to you. Also, when you leave the reality of narcissist, you most likely know and see very clearly now that you have been their agent and flying monkey, and there might be people out there that have been affected by you. Not only you feel terrible now for yourself, but also for what you realize you have been doing, and they might now get their back on you since you no longer have the protection of the group. It reminds me of mafia structure, and no, without reason, because the structure of the mafia is the same, just more intense, same psychopathic mechanisms though, because it is the same thing. This reminds me of another characteristic of female narcissist reality. She will also often create a very strong family-like structure, where you feel extreme loyalty to the group even at the cost of your own good and the good of those outside of the group. You may lie, emotionally steal, emotionally rape and emotionally extort those from outside of the group, and if there is no one outside the group, then the group turns on their own members. You for sure do all these nasty things to yourself only to be patted on the back by the godmother of the mafia family. If you do not want to do all that, they make you feel like you are betraying your family. It is like a group hypnosis. Then when you wake up, you start to see the damage. Another thing that makes leaving female narcissists reality is that you know what they talk about, and you know how they talk about those that they do not approve of and do not like. Again, that reminds me of Mafia, and how they would do executions in front of you to show you what could happen to you if you betray them. The worst thing of that is also that it would really be often presented to others as if you betrayed them. They were your family and you betrayed them. You start to remember all those great moments that you felt so connected to them, and it makes you squirm inside. That causes more torment than when you think about those other really nasty but angry things that they might say about you. Here we got to the part that is purely yours. The manufactured emotional system that will now abuse you even when you have no contact with the narcissist or their reality. They built this system in you so that even after you are long gone, you still generate the energy that feeds them. You constantly torture yourself, or rather are tortured by the built-in that they created in you. This system, if you are not aware of it and if left unhealed, is and will be creating abusive circumstances for you even if you are far away and with new people. You will vibrate energy of guilt, weirdness, shame, frustration, reactivity, and the like, and that is going to affect other people around you. In many cases you might be their abuser, completely unintentionally, and seeing yourself behaving in a way that you know is not what you intended, and seeing what your behavior does and how anything you do is interpreted as with bad intention is then adding to the feeling of you being an awful person. People respond to the emotional system that sits in you. You will notice how the fate seems to just ridicule you and put you in the worst situations. When before you would always land on both feet and the life seemed to support you, now the life seems to treat you in a similar way to the narcissist. You attract it through manufactured emotional system. Some of it is your karma for the crimes you committed as part of the group, in the name of belonging, loyalty, protection of your criminal group, and it felt so righteous to do all that, and like you are a good member of the group, family-like structure. But they also create an exchange of karma through the scapegoating mechanism. Their karma becomes yours, and yours becomes theirs, with the group actively participating in this exchange. By scapegoating you, they renew their connection with the god of the system, the narcissist, and experience collective purification in the process. This mirrors cult-like structures, where members remain protected as long as they uphold the system, purging their own burdens onto designated scapegoats. Just as in religious or tribal atonement rituals, the group offloads its sins onto an offering, in this case, you, ensuring their continued survival and absolution. This is why healing from narcissistic abuse is so difficult. The karma of the narcissist and the group is systematically offloaded onto you, while they remain shielded. They continue committing these crimes without consequence, because their karma is continually redistributed to scapegoats like yourself, keeping the system intact.